Hello everyone, in this video we'll first look at what is DNS, then we'll look at root, TLD and authoritative name servers, and finally we'll see how DNS works. DNS stands for Domain Name System. It translates the domain name like netflix.com into an IP address that computers can understand, also known as phone book of internet or internet directory. When you enter a domain name into your web browser, your computer will send this request to DNS resolver. Now the DNS resolver will check its local cache to see if it has the IP address for the domain name. If it does, it returns the IP address. DNS resolver usually provided by your internet service provider or OpenDNS 208.67.222.222 or Quad 9, 9.9.9.9 or Cloudflare 1.1.1.1 or Google Public DNS 8.8.8.8. There are total 13 root name servers in the world, each with its own unique IP address. Here is a list showing the root name servers. When we talk about the TLD name servers, here is a list. Each TLD has its own policies and restrictions for registration, and some may have some specific eligibility requirements. If the DNS resolver does not have an answer in its local cache, it looks for right authoritative name servers. Authoritative name server has the original and definitive DNS records for a particular domain name. There are three main levels of authoritative DNS servers that forms the hierarchy: root name servers, TLD name servers, and authoritative name servers. Root name servers are responsible for responding to queries about the top level domain like .in, .com, .org, .net, and providing reference to the authoritative name servers for these domains. Now let's understand how DNS works. Suppose you enter the URL www.netflix.in into your web browser. Your computer will send a DNS query to your local DNS resolver, which is usually provided by the internet service provider. The DNS resolver checks its cache to see if it already has the IP address for netflix.in. If it does, it returns the IP address. Otherwise, it will move on to the next step. The DNS resolver will send a query to one of the root DNS server. The root server are designated by the letter A through M, and they are responsible for knowing the IP address of the TLD, top level domain servers. The root DNS server will respond with a referral to the appropriate TLD server based on the domain extension. For example, for the domain name www.netflix.in, the root server will refer the DNS resolver to the TLD server for the .in domain. The DNS resolver will send a query to the TLD server for the .in domain asking for the IP address of the authoritative DNS server for the netflix.in. The TLD server responds with the IP address of the authoritative DNS server for netflix.in. The DNS resolver sends a query to the authoritative DNS server for netflix.in asking for the IP address of www.netflix.in. The authoritative DNS server for the netflix.in responds with the IP address of netflix.in. The DNS resolver caches the IP address for netflix.in so that it can be used again quickly in the future and returns the IP address to your computer. Overall, this entire process happens quickly and seamlessly in the background, allowing you to easily access the website you want to visit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.